big poppin'. Money in the bank, coming, dropping a deposit. Having it my way, so I got these bitches watching. Steady getting to it, couldn't fit it in my pocket. Flexing everything, baby, tell me big poppin'. Money in the bank, coming, dropping a deposit. Having it my way, so I got these bitches watching. Steady getting to it, couldn't fit it in my pocket. Flexing everything, baby, tell me what the tap.
What's poppin', everybody? It's your favorite goss and doc tender, that girl Henny, and I'm here to give you your hot shot of court docs and goss right now. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Please be sure to like, comment, and of course subscribe. Click that notification bell, select all, so that you get notified whenever I do a video. And if you are a returning Mob Down Henny Gang member, yeah, let's get into this hot pour up. Now, if you was just on my IG live, then you know that I told you I got some hot Henny to spill. And I gave y'all a little bit, and I'm going to give y'all the rest of it. Okay? I'm going to give y'all the rest of it. Thank you for the super chat. I'm paying attention to the chats and everything because, you know, people been sending super chats and I haven't been, you know, seeing them, but I'm going to pay attention to the chat for the super chats and all of that. But y'all, now, I haven't been on here because I was in my feelings, because the last time that I came on here, I gave you some court docs and they tried to shut your girl down. Yes, they did. I was supposed to say that and then hit it, but they tried to shut me down. They snatched my videos. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. They snatched your girl's Blueface videos down off of this here YouTuber so quickly. And they've been gone ever since. But if you head on over to thatgirlhenny.com, you'll be able to see them Blueface videos over there. Right now, they're there for free. So, as you know, I've been following all of Blueface's court doc dramas for a very long time. And I've been keeping y'all updated on what was going on with the Euphoric nightclub. I've been keeping you informed what was going on with Kentavious trailer, because nobody's really talked about that case yet. Thank you for the super chat, Mama Zay. And I've been keeping y'all updated with Jackie Martinez, which is Soulja Boy's baby mama. Now, today is no different, because today we have a ruling in the Soulja Boy baby mama case. We got a ruling. Okay, thank you, Elizabeth Gregory, for the super chat. Thank you very much, Mama Zay, for your super chat as well. And I'm going to also say, hey to Michelle, welcome to the other side. She just became a member of the channel. Wicked Wednesdays will be returning next week, Wednesday. I was busy this week. Now, I'm going to take y'all, because I have to remember that there are people that watch the channel that don't watch every day. So I have to do a little bit of a stroll or scroll back, or roll back, I should say, down memory lane as to how we got here with Jackie. Okay, her name is Jackie Martinez. She is the mother of Soulja Boy's son. Now, she sued Blueface back in 2023 for defamation. All right. Now, if you don't remember what he did to get a defamation lawsuit filed against him, don't worry. I got you. Because you see, it happened on this live right here. Shout out to OTS Vision. Okay. It happened on this live right here, where Blueface was on live with Soulja Boy and they were going back and forth. And this is where the infamous nickname Blue Butt was birthed, because that's what Soulja Boy called him. But during this live, they started speaking about children and paternity. And this is what Blueface said.
Nigga, your child is my child, nigga. I got a little sperm on top of that.
Why you sound like you about to cry?
I got sperm on top of your child.
Why you sound like you finna?
He said he got seed things on top of. He got little seedlings on top of his son.
Cry, blood.
Soulja, your child
You
has
about
a little
to
bit
cry.
of my DNA.
You finna cry.
Your child has a little bit of my DNA.
Your child has my DNA, Soulja.
He said your child has my DNA, Soulja.
Okay, I think I'm starting to figure this shit out right now, Blue Butt.
Your child has my DNA, Soulja.
So you really mad about?
So while he was saying this, right, Soulja Boy wasn't paying him any mind while he was saying that. But somebody else was paying mind, and that would be his baby mama, Jacqueline. And Jacqueline, well, baby, she was not having it because she decided that she was going to file suit against Blueface. So now let's get to these documents and let's get this rundown running down. I don't think there's anything else that I need to show you from over here. Nope. So I can go ahead and I can close this window out and I can come on over here. And let me get this window and bloop and a bloop and a bloop and a bloop bloop. Now, I am going to be reading over court docs. So if you send any super chats, please bear with me. I will try to get to those super chats after I'm done reading the court docs. I'm also going to take myself off of this screen so that you can see things a little bit more clearly. And I am going to throw my old school Henny glass up there. Okay, hey to the Henny girl. That's the original Henny girl, y'all. If y'all don't remember, that's the original Henny girl. All right, so now let's get over here and let's get into reading a little bit of these court docs. I will peek in to see what y'all talking about as I read because, you know, we need a little refresher when we go through court docs and stuff like that. And don't worry, I've redacted things out of here. All right, so let's go. All right, so it says in this lawsuit that it was for defamation, right? And she says in her lawsuit that on or about December 15th, 16th, 17th, and or the 18th, because Blueface continued this narrative, running it every day, saying it, posting about it, and all of that, right? She says, and continuing, plaintiff became aware that defendant published, disseminated and communicated with individuals and or groups of persons via social media, including but not limited to X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, and other social media platforms, false and defamatory statements about plaintiff and her child, including but not limited to, because I ucked your baby mama the day before your baby shower. The baby shower took place June 11th of 2022, and the plaintiff was 6 months pregnant at the time. Okay. Also, he said, till Soulja get a DNA test, that's my child, little bro. I'm the daddy now. He also said, what's old about your baby mama sucking my bloop? Oh, I forgot. I got a censor button. Sucking my Soulja Boy, the father of plaintiff's baby, kissing every time he sees his child. Crying, laughing emoji. I remember that post that he made. Might be my kid. He ain't even get the DNA test. The defamatory statements are false. Plaintiff had protected sexual intercourse only one time with the defendant years ago in 2018. So she's not denying that she slept with him. She's saying it was back in 2018, and in 2022, I was 6 months pregnant. There's no way. And he's making a defamatory claim against me, right? Right. Now, plaintiff never engaged in oral sex with defendant at any time. She said, I ain't put that community in my mouth. They coming to get me. They coming to get me, y'all. They coming to get me. Anyway, so, all right. She said she never gave him no oral sex, right? The plaintiff did not engage in any sexual activity or conduct with the defendant the day before her baby shower or while she was pregnant. Plaintiff didn't engage in any sexual activity or conduct with defendant at any time while she was dating DeAndre Cortez Way, aka Soulja Boy. Hereinafter, he will be known as Way in there. There is zero chance that the defendant is plaintiff's child's biological father. She said, ain't no way. It ain't no way. All right. Then she goes on to say that on or about December 19th of 2023, defendant callously and mockingly responded to plaintiff's cease and desist letter by sending plaintiff the following Instagram message. Now, if y'all don't remember this, I remember. He posted to his IG story post about her sending him a cease and desist letter, right? So what he says is, nobody ever said your name. Shrug shoulders emoji, crying face, laughing face emoji. Don't even know who you are. Hand over face emoji. On or about December 19th of 2023, it was posted on social media and or the internet that plaintiff had an attorney and that the defendant had been sent a cease and desist letter. Shortly afterwards, the plaintiff received several unaliving threats on her Instagram account from unknown persons, including "We you down, okay? Snitch, see you soon." And "When you in the grave, I'll make sure your baby all right." Plaintiff is gravely concerned for herself and her child's safety and well-being, and plaintiff is extremely nervous and afraid to go outside or be in public, okay? Now, this is where we left off at with this. And okay, that's all we need to know because we just needed a little bit of a backstory on what it was that she was doing, right? So now she did file this back in December, on December 22nd of 2023. And these were her reasons: defamation, false light, intentional infliction of severe emotional distress, negligence, and for declaratory relief. That's what she was doing. And she was seeking a jury trial, and she was demanding an amount to exceed $25,000, right? All right. So now we get on over here. Sorry, I had to get myself prepared for y'all. Now we get on over here to August 19th of 2024, right? Now remember, while all of this is happening, Blueface is in Click Click City, all right? So he got the cease and desist before he went into prison, which would have been back in like 2022. He gets locked up in January. He turns himself in of 2023. By December, she has filed her lawsuit, okay? And now we are in 2024, which is last year, August, right? Yeah. No, this is 25. Yes. Last year, August. Okay. So last year, August, this is when she filed for a court judgment, right? And she was requesting the court judgment against the defendant. And what she was asking for at that time was for special payments to $250,000, general for $750,000. She was asking $1 million in punitive damages, which I can go over to the other lawsuit and tell you exactly what it was that each of these were for. Matter of fact, let's do that, because she did name what she was suing for and the amounts that she was suing for. Because if you remember, we were sitting here like, girl, ain't no way that you had a loss of income of $1 million. Oh, no, it's not there. Okay, so let's continue with where we were. All right. She's asking for court costs of $2,173, attorney fees of $14,200, and it came to a total of $2,016,373.10. So she was asking for this back. Default previously was entered on February 28th of 2024, but she was asking for this back in August 19th of 2024. Now, when we fast forward again, this is when we get to April 1st of this year of 2025. Nobody showed up. Basically, this thing went on by itself. And so it went on to say that the plaintiff seeks non-economical, special, and punitive damages, as well as attorney fees and costs. Upon review of the material submitted by the plaintiff for the court's consideration, the court will award the following. So they granted her the $100,000 for non-economical damages. They granted her $18,000 in special damages and $3,070 for her attorney fees and $2,173.10 in costs, for the total judgment that we know of $123,243.10. What she was not awarded was the punitive damages. Now, had the courts given her the punitive damages, that would have taken this case to be $1 million case, right? And he's already in trouble because he already has that $1 million case with Cantabia's trailer, which, by the way, Henny Glasses, flood the Henny chat with Henny Glasses if you want me to do a complete breakdown on Cantabia's trailer as well, so we can keep up with that case, because moving forward, this channel will be organized. All right. So this is what she was awarded, and she was awarded this back in April of this year. Okay. So now we come on over to April 24th, which is 23 days after that. Right. And it says, the court says that the default judgment was entered in her favor. Okay, and then we get down here to the judgment. It says, in the matter having been submitted by plaintiff Jacqueline Martinez to this court, it appearing that defendant Jonathan Jamal Porter, having been served, the courts acknowledge that he was served, having failed to appear and answer plaintiff's complaint filed herein, and the default of said defendant having been duly entered and evidencing having been introduced in open sessions for this court, it is therefore ordered, adjudged, and decreed that the plaintiff Jacqueline Martinez be awarded all of the money that she was asking for, the $18,000, the $100,000, and the court costs and attorney fees. And this is where she was actually awarded the $123,443.10. So this was the case on April 16th of this year, 2025, right? So now we're going to move forward. Oh, okay. So now we're going to move forward to where we are now. So on October 16th of 2025, this is when Jackie and her attorneys first put in a motion to seize his royalties. Okay, this is when she put in that interest and said, that she wants to assign all of his royalties collected by ASCAP and BMI. And she also wanted to have a restraining order placed on anybody from being able to stop this, alter it, change it, or any of that stuff. Like I said before, like they did with the game. All right. So now we get to December 9th, you guys. This is where it gets good. On December 9th, all right, these are the hearing notes. It says the court's tentative ruling to adapt as to the order of, as the order of the court follows. Plaintiff, which is Jackie, the creditor, her motion for assignment is granted. What does that mean? She just got his royalties. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, Jackie has won Blueface's royalties. That means that all that go, baby girl, go money is gonna go to her. Huh? What the Now, let's read what happened, all right? On December 22nd of 2023, Jacqueline Martinez filed a complaint against defendant Jonathan Jamal Porter, alleging causes of action for defamation, false light, intentional infliction of severe emotional distress, negligence, and declaratory relief. On February 28th, 2024, pursuant to the request of plaintiff, the clerk's office entered default against Blueface. May 22nd, 2024, pursuant to the request of Jacqueline, the court dismissed Does 1 through 100 without prejudice because if you remember in the beginning, she was suing him and Does 1 through 100. On July 3rd of 2024, the court denied Jackie's request for entry of default judgment without prejudice, but on April 16th of 2025, the court entered default judgment in favor of Jackie against Blueface in the amounts of $123,243.10. Now, on October 16th, Jackie filed a motion for assignment order. No opposition or other responsive pleading has been filed. The legal standard. Now, let's read this. Let me whet my whistle. And I got my water, but I want to swig on a little Pepsi today. Okay. Orders for assignment are governed by Code of Civil Procedure, Section 708.510, which provides that reliant part that upon application of the judgment creditor on notice motion, the court may order the judgment debtor, which would be Jackie, to assign the judgment creditor. All right, we don't need to get into all of that part. All right, in determining whether to assign or the amount of assignment, the reasonable requirements of the judgment debtor, who is a natural person, Let's get to the discussion. We don't need to get into all those, do we? Okay. Okay, so plaintiff judgment creditor Jacqueline Martinez moves for an order assigning Jonathan Jamal Porter, aka Blueface, interest to royalties derived from payments resulting from the sales of records, of songs, records, and the like, for which ASCAP and BMI collect on Blueface's behalf, to Jackie to the extent necessary to pay the judgment in full, including accrued interest through the date of final payment. The court finds good cause to order assignment of such payment rights. Here, Blueface is a natural person. Jackie's counsel declares that no part of the judgment entered on April 16th of 2025 has been paid. The outstanding balance on the judgment includes interest amounts to $129,148.85. So that's the interest that has accrued, which has probably accrued some more since then. And Jackie's counsel states on information and belief that Blueface will receive payments from ASCAP and BMI. The court also notes that Blueface failed to file opposition. A failure to oppose a motion may be deemed a consent to the granting of the motion. Jackie also requests that the court restrain Blueface from ordering or otherwise deposing of the right to payment assigned here to ensure that it is available to be applied to the judgment entered in the instant action pursuant to Code of Civil Procedure section. So basically what that says is she's saying, I want y'all to stop him from being able to put anybody in place to hinder this in any type of way. Okay. And the conclusion of that is that her motion to assign order is granted. Now, what it does not say is whether or not her motion for the restraining order has been applied or not. That's not there. But it does say that under Civil Procedure Section 520A, when an application is made pursuant to Section 708.510 or thereafter, the judgment creditor may apply to the courts for a order restraining the judgment debtor from assigning or otherwise deposing of right to payment that is sought to be assigned. Accordingly, the court, I'm wrong. Accordingly, the court restrains Blueface from assigning or otherwise deposing of the right to payment assigned to Jackie as found above. Jacqueline, Jacqueline has not only won her lawsuit and the capabilities to take Blueface's royalties for payment in her lawsuit, she also won the restraining order, which means that Wack can't do the hibbity hoop fop blah and the flippity flim bam that he was doing in the Games case. Now I know, and I'm gonna chop this video up because this is a very important portion that we're about to talk about right here, because I know that a lot of people have been asking questions like, oh, well, why doesn't he just file for bankruptcy? Why doesn't he just sell that house? Why doesn't he? And why doesn't he? And why doesn't he? All right. So when Blueface sells his house, right, what actually happens is he has, in all of these suits, he's got a multi-million-dollar lien on his home, okay? And right now, it's probably at $18 million or $17 million and change. I haven't done the math on it, but I will do an update for you guys and give y'all the math on it, right? So for him, that lien, because of the lien, the money from the sale doesn't go to him. The money from the sale goes directly to lien holders, right? And if you want to know how that gets broken down into payments, and if I'm incorrect, somebody please correct me. But based on my understanding of what happens when he sells his house is the realtors, they got their fee, right? So he still has to pay the mortgage holder. So if he still has a mortgage, he's going to have to pay them. He's going to have to pay a realtor's fee for getting a realtor in order to do that. He has to pay title fees. He's got to pay closing charges as well. And those got to be paid before the lien even gets taken care of. So his house is worth $1 million and some change, right? So let's say he sells the house for $1 million and $1 million, $1,050,000, right? 300,000 of that would be remaining mortgage, possibly $50,000 closing fees, and then 700,000 goes to Euphoric. That would still leave him in debt, and it wouldn't do anything for him. But now, if he files bankruptcy, bankruptcy doesn't wipe out the lien. It doesn't wipe out any of these lawsuits. The reason why it doesn't wipe out any of these lawsuits is because these are lawsuits for damages. These are lawsuits for damages. So even if he goes to file bankruptcy, what they could do is they could put those lawsuits on hold from being collected on while they figure out his bankruptcy, but they would continue to go on. This particular case right here, when we're talking about Jackie's lawsuit would be considered a garnishment of wages because he's a rapper, he's an entertainer. So the bankruptcy would not stop her from collecting the royalties. The garnishment is it's harder to stop from what I was looking up. And they rarely ever remove these types of things off of people's bankruptcies, because I did go and look up some things to see if I could, see a loophole somewhere for him to be able to get out of it. But with Jackie, her case is basically about civil liability. And those are not dischargeable from what I've been seeing. So the bankruptcy can't prevent her from taking royalties permanently. And she could actually restart the garnishments after the bankruptcy ends. So him selling his house ain't going to do nothing about it. Now let me open up me a YouTube window so that I can see anybody that may have possibly sent a super chat, because I don't want to you guys feel ignored or unappreciated at all. I don't see anything. I don't see anything. Anyone that sent a super chat, I greatly appreciate you. So yeah, at this particular point in time, there's nothing that anybody can do, because there has been rumors on the internet, like I've seen myself, I haven't posted it, where his house is listed for sale, but then it was taken back off, but then it was put back on, and there was supposedly a realtor walking around his house that he was going to sell it. And if y'all remember, he had shown us a house, and it looked like it was the same house that Angela had showed us when she was on Sysox with Carlissa, and that was supposed to be the house that she was buying for Blueface. But if you look at the clips from inside of his show, which is being filmed right now, Fresh Out of Love, that's the same house that Angela was showing us, I believe, because it looks the same to me. I don't know if it looks the same to y'all, but it looks the same to me. And there's no way that he would be able to there's no way that he would be able to purchase a home that quickly. Now, when we talk about things like him going out and doing performances and being paid cash for it, cash is harder for you to keep up with, guys. It's a little harder to keep up with. So her going for his royalties, to me, that was the smartest thing that she could have done, because that's something that can definitely be kept up with. And the fact that she got the royalties, again, she's a smart cookie. Her lawyers are smart, because her lawyers made sure that there was no game flimflammery that was going to happen, which, speaking of the game, I heard that he is no longer managed by Wack. I did hear that. I just did not report on it, but I will be reporting on it over the weekend. I'm going to do some digging into that and report on it. And I'm going to have some information, other information that I haven't given y'all that I need to. So for now, that house that you see over there, that's an Airbnb or something like that he's renting for his show. That's not his house. There's no way he could have sold his house that quickly. Blueface has a lot of work that he needs to do. So while he's up here on the internet talking about my baby mamas are mid and all that other stuff that he's talking about, he got other shit that he needs to be worried about. Miss Jackie said if his house is in a LLC, it's a business, but he's liable. His home is underneath his name. It is not under a LLC. I've already pulled the deed on that. The deed is underneath his government name and is not under his business name. And that's something that we learned about during the Diddy trial, right? I didn't know anything about people putting their homes into an LLC and purchasing a home under their LLC before, which separates them from the home. So when you have a limited liability corporation, which is what LLC stands for those who don't know, it separates you, the person, from the LLC business entity. So in this case, they would be suing the house. If he had this home underneath Blueface LLC, right? They would be suing the home and putting the lien on the home, but the home would be separate from him, the person. You see what I'm saying? So anything that's under that LLC would be liable, but anything that's under him would not. That's why a lot of people, and that's when you set up your articles of incorporation and all of that stuff. When you have your stuff set up correctly, you're separated from the business. And that's why you see a lot of times when people go for lawsuits, they sue the business and the person. Because if you just sue the business, it does nothing to the actual person. That just means that that business is being sued and that business is in debt. But that has nothing to do with the person behind that entity that is a business. Henny glasses in the chat if y'all understood that. That was a good point, Miss Jackie. Thank you. So let's go through some of these comments and see what you guys are up in here saying. Okay, I seen a lot of Henny glasses in the chat, so y'all do want me to break that case down. I absolutely will. Monique said he's an idiot. Absolutely. Probably was so high he forgot. So any song he makes gets the royalties. Any song he makes that is going through ASCAP and BMI is the royalties that get made off of that are going directly to Jacqueline Martinez. Yes. He's gonna be money laundering from here on out. So all profits from Go Baby Go is hers. Yes, she is now. Listen, all of it. Respect My Crippin', Tatiana, any of those songs make any revenue, it's going to her. Not the back pay, the front pay, since she won, which would be the 9th. So anything from here on out that he makes musically, he ain't seeing no money. And you know he was already in a 360 deal. She needs to thank Wack slow ass. Polo family, I agree. Because where was management while this was happening? So she's getting the whole $2 million. She doesn't have a $2 million lawsuit. She only has $179,000 now lawsuit. They didn't give her the $1 million. She ain't getting much though. That's why he's resorting to love shows. He was raised thinking he could walk on water, no consequences. Welcome to real life. Absolutely. Let me do something really quickly. Now, let's see. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. The thing about this is Um Now, royalties that go through ASCAP, I'm trying to see. I want to make sure. Okay, so royalties that go through ASCAP and BMI, radio play, TV and film performance usage, live performances, from when he does like venues and stuff like that, streaming services like Spotify, Apple Music, public performances of music in bars, clubs, arenas, and stores. Okay. What they don't handle is digital download royalties, mechanical royalties, streaming mechanical royalties, publishing administration royalties, master recording royalties, record label payouts, YouTube content, and SoundCloud royalties. Those are the places where that's where ASCAP cannot go. Now, BMI, they do songwriter performance royalties, publisher performance royalties, and then there's radio, TV shows, movies, commercials, live concerts, and on-demand streaming. What they don't cover is, the publishing and all that other stuff. They don't get into all of that. So when it comes down to it, Jackie can intercept if he writes a song. She can intercept for songwriter and publisher royalties. She could also send a levy to ASCAP and BMI to direct his payouts. She can request accounting statements. She can also go after his DistroKid, TuneCore payouts. She can go after Empire label payouts, Sound Exchange payouts. She can go after these things, but it's not automatic because it's not through ASCAP or BMI. Does that make sense to y'all? And so when we get into the realm of reality TV, so let me clarify some of this stuff for you guys, right? So when we get into like reality TV, you know how like Zeus, when they were doing Crazy in Love, how they were playing Blueface's songs during the show, they can go after Zeus for that. Like she can go after them for payments, whatever payments he's getting for those songs being played on their network. That's crazy, right? If his song is like, let's say you got like a ghetto movie production or something going on, you got a movie going, and they get permission to play Tatiana in the background as two actors are talking, and you hear a car go by playing Tatiana, and they say, hey, Blueface, we're going to give you $60,000 for playing Tatiana in the background of the music in this movie that we're doing. And he says, okay, she could take that check too. But as far as him doing like Fresh Out of Love or Rap Queens West, unless his songs are in the show, they can't do nothing about it at all. Like this is all strictly dealing with music. So yes, this is probably why he's focusing on reality TV more than he is making any music, because they can't go after that. That makes sense to y'all? Did I explain that good? Okay. So does that mean Jaden's songs he wrote payout goes to hers? Yes, they can go after that for him being attributed as a songwriter on that. Jackie can, if she wants to, go after that as well. I asked if that's why Jaden is under Carlissa's management. Don't know, but even with Carlissa being her manager, that has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that Blueface is credited for being a writer on that album. So if Jackie wants to decide to be petty Thank you, Miss Jackie, for the super chat. She says, super cool job, Henny. Thank you. Thank you. So if she decides she wants to be petty and go for any and everything, she can go after any song that he is written on, including if he's accredited, not just Jaden, if he's credited on any of Krishan's stuff, if he's credited on DDG stuff, because he's a performer on DDG stuff. They can go, they're not holding all of their income. What they're going for is whatever his percentage is on that payout. Let me clarify that. It's Jaden's song, but as a writer, if he's getting a percentage off of that as the writer, they can go for his percentage, not hers, but his. So let's say he signed on and said that he wants 15% of all royalties. She can go after his 15%. But she can't go after Jaden's cut because Jaden's cut has nothing to do with what he did. Just like with Zeus, she can't go after what Zeus brings in for the whole episode. But if they're giving him, like we hear them often say that they get a cut off of subscriptions. So if they're getting a certain cut and his music is contributed to that in any type of way, say, oh, Zeus said, well, we're going to use your songs and we're going to give you 20% for just the songs. She can go after the 20%, but what she can't go after is whatever check he got for actually being on the show. I'm giving examples. Why are you being so technical? But she can't go, they can't go after, like, if they gave him money for whatever. What? I'm live. If I was Jackie, I might have to be petty and take all his money. Well, you know what? Then you got to dibble and dabble into other areas. You got to dibble and dabble into other areas. You really got to start investigating and seeing where he's connected to, you know, any percentage that he's making off of the song that he made with DDG. His percentage can be taken. So yeah, you guys, she can go after whatever his music is, wherever his music is. Now that's crazy because let's not forget, you got your Four Gentlemen's Nightclub that put the lien on his house. You got her going after, Jackie is going after Blueface's royalties. And then you've got Kentavious Trailer that's coming with this $1 million lawsuit that he done won. I don't know what he's going to be able to go after in order for him to be able to collect his money because everything else seems pretty much tied up. And here's the other thing. Even if Blueface sells that house, that still doesn't clear the lien. It doesn't clear the debt for him. The debt is not cleared until he pays the debt or they reach a whole new agreement. So he could sell that house and the percentage go towards that debt, but it doesn't wipe it out clean. So it doesn't matter where he moves to, this debt is going to follow him. And here's what could happen. If they go to place the lien on the new house, he might be able to fight that. But in the meantime and in between time, it still don't take away the fact that he still lost that lawsuit and the original amount on the lawsuit was $13 million. We ain't talking about, oh, it was $500 and then it just jumped up. It wasn't that. It definitely was not giving that. So, yeah. Oh, wait, you weren't talking to me. So that's why he changed his show name. No, Fresh Out of Love is on a whole different network separate from Zeus. Rap Queens West is going to be on Zeus. Fresh Out of Love is on another network. Now, I don't know what network that's going to be on. I don't know if it's Wack's network himself, like if it's his network, or if it's that network that he was dealing with Mozzie when all of that stuff went down from the no jumper jumping, the brawl that happened out there. Remember, they was all with Dosh Network. I don't know if it's going to be on the Dosh Network or what, but it's not a Zeus thing, because if it was Zeus, you know, Lemmy and them would have been posting that already all over the Zeus page, and there would already be a trailer and all of that going on. But I don't think that it's for Zeus. I think, you know, this is for something else, because only Wack and R&B have been promoting that show. Nothing from Lemmy. Let's see. Jackie is the next Cardi B. Man, listen, Jackie just set a precedent. I think Columbia owns Barbie now, though. But if he's still getting a percentage as a writer, a contributing writer on that song, regardless to who owns it, if he's still getting a cut as a writer on there, they can go after Columbia for his cut that he's supposed to get for that. He needs more shows, all these debts. What other shows is he gonna do? Because Krishan is definitely not on board. I don't think she's gonna be on board to do no show with him. I'm going through the comments to see what else you guys are saying. Shout out to everybody that's here. She said royalties gone. He should just get a payment plan and have his rich family help. You know what, Pretty Ginger? You should change that to Petty Ginger, because that was petty as hell. Wack paid for Blueface Records to get spins. Well, that doesn't have anything to do with that. But again, they can go after any percentage that he has with music. Wack too busy stalking Krishan. You're absolutely correct. And Blueface is too busy being a creep. So then there's that. But again, I said this in the beginning. I'm going to say this again now that we're coming to an end. Blueface is worried about, talking about his baby mamas and calling them mid. But there ain't nothing mid about these cases that are coming down. And how coinky dinky. He did that yesterday, day before yesterday. He called them mid. Hold on. Let me go to my Instagram real quick and see. Let me go to my Instagram really quickly and see. When did he say that? He said that 2 days ago. So he said this on the 9th. You woke up that morning. Blueface woke up on the 9th. Yo, wait a minute. Let me put this. You can't make that. I'm about to. Hold on.
Both my baby mamas is mid as fuck, gang. They at home. I need to get some bad bitches pregnant ASAP. Like, I gotta make up for that shit. I woke up today.
So this is what he's tweeting and typing and talking about on the 9th. Meanwhile, while he's doing that, let me see if we got a time on here. Child, if he don't get off my goddamn screen, you up early in the morning talking about your baby mamas is mid. Meanwhile, Jackie, your court case, 9:30 a.m. Him baby mamas are mid. But at 9:30 a.m., this what we doing? You should have been checking your calendar for your court dates. You too busy worrying about what your baby mamas is doing. And meanwhile, they out here suing, honey. Child, you can't make this shit up. You could, but then again, why would you? And the truth is so entertaining. And by the way, the truth could never be a diss. This is all entertainment purposes only and for educational reasons when need be. All of the information that has been used on this show, this channel, was gathered from publicly sourced information. So no PII policies, rights, or acts have been violated in the process of making this video. And any video that was used, obtained, and used was used underneath the guise of the Fair Use Act, and they were used for my commentary and for my programming. Anyway, you guys, that's gonna do it for it. That's gonna do it for this video. Stay tuned. I will do another court doc breakdown so we can understand all that is going on. Plus, I have more court docs on the way for y'all. So y'all, Be sure that you are liking the video on the way out. Thank you for all of the super chats, the catch apps, the likes, and all of the love that you guys continue to give me. I will see y'all when I see y'all. Remember to vibe high so the bullshit don't stick. We out this bitch. Peace.